Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for joining us today. Wanted to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can continue with the looking at the abodes of the Supreme Lord and specifically Golok Vrindaban. So last couple of times we've talked through some of the aspects of Golok Vrindaban. Jiva Goswami summarized it really nicely that he said in, I think, the Gopal Champu, he writes something like, why did I even start this subject? It's so impossible to go through it. So it's a vast subject matter. It's described, Golok in the spiritual world is bigger than all of the rest of the spiritual world. That includes Ayodhya, Vaikuntha, the Brahmajyoti, and also the material world. So Golok is a huge place. So whatever we describe is going to be absolutely nothing in comparison to what there is there. But we can make a little attempt because the previous acharyas, especially Lord Brahma, and have described a little bit about Golok, and we can try to understand the description. So Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita 5th chapter, 2nd, 3rd, 4th text describes how the spiritual world is organized. It said Golok is organized as a lotus. There's a roll like this, and then there's the petals. And within the roll, there is the hexagon, where there's 6 divisions, and how Radha and Krishna are in the center. And there's also Chaitanya Leela there, accompanying them. And surrounding the roll are the petals, and the 8 petals belong to the 8 Sakhis, the Asta Sakhis. And then the smaller petals just behind the Asta Sakhis belong to the Manjaris. And we saw how important Manjari Bhav is in our tradition. So it's something that most of the acharyas are in that Bhav who've come and taught us. And also it's a Bhav that we would try to perhaps also follow if we can. Hare Krishna, Naniben?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. How many Manjaris were there? I believe there are many, or only what they are mentioned here?
Manjaris, oh, even more than the gopis.
Oh my, okay.
Unlimited. And there are hundreds and thousands, millions of gopis.
Really?
Yeah. And more Manjaris, because each gopi needs many Manjaris as their servants, as their assistants. Yeah, assistants.
So the Sakhis, they are gopis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the principal gopis.
Yeah, that's 8. The
8 are the principal gopis. Yeah.
And each I mean, there are many Sakhis who are not mentioned. Only these 8 are mentioned, and a few others are mentioned. But there's hundreds and thousands and millions of gopis, and probably billions of Manjaris. And it's just like funny, Jayanti was just asking how in this, does Krishna associate, is there only one pastime going on at one time? Is Krishna just associating with a few? But no, in the spiritual world, he's associating with everyone simultaneously. Just like, here he expanded himself as Krishna, but when Brahma kidnapped the cowherd boys. But in the spiritual world, it's the same. He associates with every single liberated soul, one-to-one, simultaneously.
So all these millions of gopis, were they at the time of his lila on this material world in Vrindaban?
No, generally not. They continue to be in the spiritual world. Generally, the gopis in this world are split into 2 or 3 categories. One is the eternal living entities who always follow them. So Lalita, Vishaka, the 8 Sakhis. And then there will be those gopis who in their previous life reached perfection, and they would be given that direct association with Krishna as gopis,
To be trained.
as gopis in this material world before they go back to the spiritual world. But these 8 gopis, nobody can become them. Even the other Sakhis are all assistants of the 8 gopis. What distinguishes the Manjaris is that they're very young, very innocent young girls, whereas the Sakhis are a little older and a little more authoritative.
It's like similar age to Radha and Krishna.
Similar age, yeah.
Okay.
And there's another third category of, there's Nitya Siddhis, there's a Siddhi, there's the Nitya Siddhis, and then there's the Sadhana Siddhis, and then there's the Kripa Siddhis. There's a few categories of these Sakhis, but those are the 2 I remember. Those who are eternally with the Lord, and those who have become perfected in their spiritual
Eligible,
practice.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're
To be
eligible
trained,
to come as gopis. Is that okay, Naniben?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
I think similarly for the manjaris as well. You have these manjaris like Rupa Manjari. You can never become those. But then again, you have the categories where you can you're eligible to become a manjari and to be trained up as well.
Yeah.
And also we looked at the Gayatri mantra, which is the Krishna Gayatri mantra that we chant, which is ever present in the spiritual kingdom. Gopal mantra. Yeah, Gopal mantra. And we also discussed how this is a yantra, and just the yantra, drawing of the yantra creates the presence of Golok. You don't even need, it's a 2-dimensional figure. Don't even need the 3-dimensional deity. If you have the yantra, that is as good as Golok Vrindaban, as good as Radha Krishna. But yantras are a little harder to relate to. Okay.
Prabhu, the yantra, sorry, what do you mean if we have it?
If you can worship our yantra on the altar, and it's as good as worshipping Radha and Krishna. And the yantra, I'll give you an example, is here. You see these often on the Nishinga altar. You see the yantras. Nishingadev loves yantras. But this is a yantra. The hexagon, 2 triangles, and then there will be different mantras, like the Gopal mantra will be the one for Radha and Krishna. Like that. Have you seen these yantras?
Yeah, Prabhu, I've seen. What does it say? Shri and then Shri Radhe?
Yeah, in Sri Krishna. Hang on, what's this?
Nama.
Maybe it's the Gopal mantra. Can't read it properly.
Shri Radhe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this says.
Yeah. Krishna. No, Krishna.
No, we won't be able to work it out. But there are different types of yantras. There'll be yantras for Vishnu, Nishinga, Ram. There's all different types of yantras. Even the demigods have their yantras. But of course.
So if you pray to that yantra, it's similar. You say that pray to the deities, yeah?
Yeah, but the vision has to be there, and it's a little harder to connect with the yantra, much harder. Much easier to connect with the deity.
That's true.
But sometimes you can carry these yantras with you, it's easier than carrying the deities. But there also has to be the understanding. Probably yantras is something that the Gaudiyas are not really, they don't really worship yantras. Oh yes, Jayanti we've got yantra on our altar. which you don't worship, but we have because it does represent. This is an example of. Yeah. Just take this off. So this is a Nrsimha. This is a Nrsimha yantra. Don't know if you can see that. And the
What does it say on it, Prabhu? You don't
What does it
know.
say on it? No, you can't. I can't even read it. It's very small writing. But it'll be a mantra which invokes the presence of Lord Nrsimhadev.
That's good. Thank you, Prabhu. Now I understand better.
There's a lot more to it. We don't really know because we've never studied the yantras, you know. So, but yeah, this you can just put into your pocket and off you go. Oh, okay. Gently put it on the altar again. So let's read this verse. Karuna, let the expert read it.
चतुरस्रं तत्परितः श्वेताद्वीपाह्यमद्भुतं चतुरस्रं चतुर्मूर्तेश्चतुर्धाम चतुष्कृतं चतुर्भिः पुरुषार्थैश्च चतुर्भिर्हेतुभिर्हृतं शूलैर्दशभिरानद्धम् ऊर्ध्वाधो दिक्विदिक्ष्वपि अष्टभिर्निधिभिर्जुष्टम् अष्टभिः सिद्धिभिस्तथा मनोरूपैश्च दशभिर्दिक्पालैः परितो वृतं श्यामैर्गौरैश्च रक्तैश्च शुक्लैश्च पर्षदार्षभैः शोभितं शक्तिभिस्ताभिरद्भुताभिः समन्ततः. Shall I read a translation? Or?
Yes, please.
The surrounding external plane of Gokula is described in this verse. There is a mysterious quadrangular place named Shwetadeep surrounding the outskirts of Gokula. Shwetadeep is divided into 4 parts on all sides. The abode of Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh are separately located in each of these 4 parts. These 4 divided abodes are enveloped by the 4-fold human requirements such as piti, wealth, passion, liberation, as also by the 4 Vedas, that is Rig, Sam, Yajur, and Athar, which deal with the mantra, and which are the basis of achievements of the 4-fold mundane requirements. 10 triads are fixed on the 10 directions, including the zenith and the nadir. The 8 directions are decorated with the 8 jewels of Mahapadma, Padma, Shankha, Makara, Kachap, Mukund, Kund, and Neela. There are 10 protectors, Dikpalas, of the 10 directions in the form of mantra. The associates of the hues of blue, yellow, red, white, and the extraordinary potencies bearing the names of Vimal, etc., shine on all sides.
Extraordinary detail, and I hope everybody remembers this. So we'll look at it in a little detail, not too much. But this outside of surrounding the Golok is this mysterious quadrangular place named Shwetadweep, which is the ocean, effectively. It's the ocean of the milk from the cows of Golok, and it surrounds Golok. So let's have a look at it. So here's Golok in the middle. Then we have Navadweep, which are the white petals. So Golok is the rest of it. And then we have Mathura, the inside. And we have Jagannath Puri, which is the second to last. And then finally there is Dwarka. But this area here, all of this is Shwetadweep. This is Shwetadweep. So what is the significance of Shvetadvip? Shvetadvip means pure. Of course, everything in the spiritual world is pure. This is the milk ocean. But it's not the same milk ocean which is where Shirodakshaya Vishnu lies in this world. Right? It's different. That's different. The different Shvetadvip. It consists of milk from Golok's Surabhi cows. Golok floats on Shvetadvip. Only very rare souls can attain this abode. And the reference is given for Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj's abode must be Shvetadvip. The 4 parts of Shvetadvip are Mathura, Dwarka, where the first expansions from Balaram, the first Chaturvyu, where Aishwarya is mixed in. The Lord's opulence is noticed. So the first time the Lord's opulence gets noticed is Mathura and Dwarka, especially Dwarka. But Mathura is the beginning of the devotees mixed their bow with Aishwarya, that they have some reverence towards the Lord. In Golok, there's no reverence. There's just wonderful relationship between the devotee and Krishna. Sweet relationship. So let's have a look at the verse, which Karuna beautifully read. There is a mysterious quadrangular place named Shvetadvip surrounding the outskirts of Gokul. Shvetadvip is divided into 4 parts on all the sides. The abode of Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Padumna, and Anirudh are separately located in each of the 4 parts. So then this is the example that we've been giving, that from Krishna comes Balaram, and from Balaram appears the first Chaturvyu. And where are they? Here they are. They are the corners. They're not corners, they're the sides. So here is Vasudev. This Vasudev. So all these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the Chaturvyu. And on the right-hand side is Vasudeva. These 4 divided abodes are enveloped by the 4-fold human requirements, such as piety, wealth, passion, liberation, as well as the 4 Vedas, the Rig, Sama, Yajur, Arthava, which deal with the mantras and which are the basis of achievements of the 4-fold mundane requirements. And then this verse explains there's 10 tridents which are fixed in the 10 directions, including the zenith and nadir. And then you got the 8 directions that are decorated with the 8 jewels of Mahapadma, Padma, Shankar, Makar, Kachapa, Mukunda, Kunda, and Nila. Then there's 10 protectors, Dikpalas of the 10 directions in the form of mantras. And then we have the associates of the hues of blue, yellow, red, and white, that's Vedas, and the extraordinary potencies bearing the names of Vimila, etc., shine on all sides. So here's the weapons, the tridents, and they've got different mantras associated with them in all the 4 sides, or 10 tridents are fixed in the 10 directions all around spiritual world to prevent Mayavadis from entering. Trishul means the 3 modes. There are the 10 protectors of the 10 directions in the form of mantra. So these are the mantras. Om Yam Yavave Namaha. Protection against illegal entry. Of course, nobody's got a chance of getting anywhere near here, but this is the service that has been given to these protectors. Then we got the 8 directions around Gokul, Golok, decorated with the 8 jewels, which represent the 8 mystic powers. Attraction keeps one in Vaikuntha. So these mystic powers, they stop one from entering Golok, Gokul, Golok, because in Vaikuntha, everybody is attracted by the power of Vishnu. by the and that's why they're worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So that's a little idea of what that 5th verse says. Also the Samar, Yajur, there you go. You can see them here. Next to Vasudev, Rigvedas is there. And then also the 4 humanly goals, Dharma, Artha, Moksha, Kama. And also there's Ganpati there. Who's that? Must be part of the 10 protectors. Any questions on this? It's quite complex, very complex.
I need some time to digest all this, Prabhuji.
And a nice pizza would help.
Yeah, but it's very good information there. Excellent.
Yeah, but Lord Brahma has given a lot of detail.
Mm.
Lot of detail. But as you said, it's very, and we don't necessarily have to understand this. It's not critical to our spiritual life to understand this, but it's good to know. It's good to know that this, it's not just some hodgepodge, some, dogma that we're believing out of, just blind faith. There is some understanding behind it, some science behind it.
Yeah, broader concept and 10 tridents that are sort of protecting the 10 directions. And the first Chaturya expansion in each direction, east, west, north, south. Yeah. Okay. So nice to know a bit of a broader concept rather than detailed. Thank you. Okay.
So next part is Chaitanya Golok. Right? This is quite an interesting. Golok is all about Madhurya Leela. Right? Even the other rasas, they assist the Lord's enjoyment of Madhurya Leela. So even the Dasya Ras or the Shanta Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Sakhya Ras, they all complement the main rasa in Golok, which is Madhurya. And what does that mean? It basically means that even the bhav of Vatsalya is all geared towards assisting the Lord in his Madhurya Leela. So the pastimes of Jatila is in Vatsalya bhav, and it's somewhat opposed to Krishna in one sense, but it assists him enjoying the Madhurya Leela. So her bhav is parental in one sense, mainly guided towards Radharani, but also to keep Krishna away. But that mood assists Krishna's Leela of Madhurya very much, because it just her presence makes everything a little bit more exciting for the Lord.
Yeah, allows them to meet in secret and things like that, which makes it more exciting.
So even the Sakhas. Oh yes, Karuna.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was just looking for the verse in Narsingha Kavach, where it is said that may he whose faces are on all sides protect me from all 10 directions. So I just remembered that and were looking for it.
And what's the verse?
The verse is Paschime Patu Sarvesha Vishime Sarvato Mukham Narasingha Patu Vayavyam Somyam Bhushana Vigra. So here it is mentioned the 10 directions.
Wow, thank you. Yes, well spotted. Good, thank you. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is Audarya Leela, the magnanimous distribution of Madhurya Prema. So that's his position in Golok. Effectively, he gives this Madhurya Leela. So that's what we pray to Lord Chaitanya as well, to give us this Prema Bhakti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eternally present, as are his associates. So for example, Rupa Manjari is in Krishna Lila, but she's also simultaneously Rupa Manjari in Chaitanya Lila, in Golok. How this actually works, we'd have to go there and check it out. But simultaneously, they're having the pastimes in Golok, Krishna and Radha and Gopis, Manjaris, and at the same time, they're having the pastimes as part of Chaitanya Lila in Golok. And the white petals, they depict Chaitanya Lila. So here we don't have the white petals.
Just see it.
Is that Chaitanya? Yeah, that is Chaitanya Lila. That's right. Very good. And here is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates in the role center of Golok. And then just to understand a little bit about who is who in Golok, in terms of Krishna Lila and Chaitanya Lila. Krishna, of course, is Gaura. Gadadhar is Radharani. And Lalita is Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar was the secretary, personal secretary, assistant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Vishaka is Ramananda Ray, whom he had, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had wonderful conversations and interactions with Ramananda Ray. They would meet for hours a day, hours and hours. Then we got Linduleka, who is Brahmanda. Not too familiar with that. Vasu Brahmanda. Rangadevi is Govinda Ghosh. Not too familiar again. Vasu Ghosh is Sudevi. Oh, three brothers, by the looks of it. Or at least two of them at least. Champaklata is Shivananda Sen. And Chitra is Govinda Nandan. Tungavidya is Vakreshvara Pandit. So this is all from the, is it Kavi Kannapurna? Difference between Golok and Gokul. So there is no difference between Golok and Gokul. Jiva Goswami explains in commentary to Brahma Samhita that Golok in the spiritual world is the same as Gokul in the material world, where Krishna is present. However, there are some differences in the Leelas between the two. Anybody can guess any differences between what happens in the spiritual world and what happens in the spiritual world in Golok and what happens in the spiritual world in Gokul? Any differences that you might think there might be in the Leela? Something that happens in Golok in this material world that cannot happen in the Golok in the spiritual world. Anybody have a guess?
Is it material and spiritual?
They're both spiritual.
That's obvious. They're all spiritual. Okay. Okay.
They're both the same, Prabhu, Haribol.
They are the same, but the
They're the same.
Leelas are a little different. Something can happen in Gokul, but it cannot happen in Golok. What
Hare
can that
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Vrinda.
Yes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that in Gokul, in fact, is a bit, in one sense, higher and more original than Goloka. Gokula, there appears the demons to participate in Krishna Lila. Krishna kills the demons. But in Goloka, there are no actual demons. There are actually some kind of rumors about demons. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, you've got it right.
Hare Krishna.
Good. That's a really good one. Any others? But we'll definitely come to that. It's a really good one. Well done, Surinder Prabhu. Anything else? What can happen in Golok, which can't happen in Golok by its very nature, because Gokul has a beginning. You know, I'll give you a hint.
Something to do with the cows. Appearance of the
Appearance of
Krishna.
Krishna, his birth.
Childhood pastimes.
Yes, yes, childhood pastimes. They won't happen in his appearance. Won't happen. Maybe there'll be some aspects of the childhood pastimes that do
Damodar
happen.
Leela would
Yeah,
take
yeah,
place.
yeah.
Yeah.
But his appearance is unique to this world. Also, this is the point about those who have become liberated. They can enter into Gokul
On earth.
on earth, and they're conditioned, but they are on the way to become liberated. So they can enter Gokul, but not Golok. Golok is for the eternally liberated souls. There's no going to Mathura. The Lord doesn't go to Mathura in the Golok, but in Gokul he goes. But he goes, of course, as Vasudeva Krishna, not Yashoda Krishna. And as Surinder very nicely said, no demons in Golok, only rumors. And these rumors are enough to get everybody going. But in Golok, in Gokul, sorry, here, the demons come. And this is Krishna's eternal kindness and mercy. He allows the demons to come in Gokul so that he can liberate them. This is unique. This is the great compassionate nature of the Supreme Lord. No husbands in Golok. Only rumors. But in Gokul, they have husbands. They're, of course, expansions of Krishna. But still, they have husbands. But in Golok, there's just rumors. There's a rumor that you're going to be married. Oh, my God. So these are some of the differences. There must be millions of other differences, but these are some of them. All right, so that's the end of. Oh, okay. That's the end of Golok Dham. So next time we'll have a look at, hopefully tomorrow, have a look at Ayodhya and what's there, and then Vaikuntha. Any questions or any comments?
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
so these 10 directions, they are for the planet Earth also?
Yes.
This all we must drop down.
Yeah.
To the earth. And then we do it.
Sorry?
The 10 directions mentioned for Goloka Vrindaban. So in the planet Earth also the 10 directions seem to be imported.
Yeah, that's why I think in the Nrishika account it says protect us from all these 10 directions.
But I wanted that. Yeah, because it's good for otherwise.
And the 10 directions presumably are north, east, west, south, and then you got northeast, southeast, west.
Northwest, northeast.
That's
southeast.
8.
Zenith and Nadir.
And then you got the zenith.
Nadir. So that makes 10 planets, 10 directions.
Brilliant. Thank you, Naniven. Very good. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much. We shall hopefully continue tomorrow. Shri Golok Dham ki jai,
Jai.
Gokul Dham ki jai, Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki jai.